Maker today is here with Fiona Newby in her studio at Meltham. Thank you so much for inviting us. It's absolutely wonderful to be here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for coming.
So can you tell us something about your journey here? I mean, where did you first learn about pottery?
I first found clay. Well, I did clay at school like everybody, and then I went to an adult education class with my aunt when I was 19, which was great. I loved it, and I made little houses and lots of the little twee things that we made, but I just loved the medium. I had my first boy, and then it was what career would suit me to fit in with children, and then I thought about teaching, but that meant I had to have a degree. So I went back to university. It was like what to do my degree in, and that's when I knew I wanted to carry on with clay. So I went back to university and did a fine art degree in ceramics, which I absolutely loved, and I've been playing with clay ever since.
It's interesting you say the first experience of it was with making and touching it, because I think there's something about clay. You either touch it and go, "Wow, I really like this," or you touch it and go, "Ooh, do you know what I mean?"
And it's that. I think it's you're either you're a hands-on and you're good at with your hands and you want to create, or you're one of those people who just want to wash your hands. And I'm obviously the type who just likes to keep her hands dirty and get in there, and that's fine, and that's what I do. So yeah.
So the specific style of pottery you do, which is really quite unique. How did that develop?
Well, when I went to Bretton Hall, which is now the Yorkshire Sculpture Park, and we had an amazing tutor there, Jim Robertson, who just encouraged us to explore, and we did lots and lots of different firings. We just ruined the kilns, I think. They still were working, we didn't actually ruin them, but we did lots of different experiments, and we tried every firing going. I was there all hours of the day. And it was brilliant. So yeah, I first found Saggar firing there and Raku. I spent hours and hours glazing, making my own glazes. And then I found out after I left university that you could buy glazes, which I felt very cheated at. But I now no longer use them because I've just slowly moved away from that to making my surfaces lovely and rather beautiful, but without using any glazes, which I'm really pleased with.
I mean, that's the first thing that struck me about your work, and the first thing that called me to it was the feel of it.
Yeah.
It's just different to how everybody else does. Well, tell me about that.
So I use a textured clay, which is a real surprise. So it's called Ashraf Hanna, who's an Egyptian potter, and he makes it. He uses the clay because it's got quite a lot of grog in it, which is the texture within the clay. It's fired up bits of clay, and then that's re-added to the clay body, and it gives it a lot of strength, and that's what I need for my firings, but I don't need it for the surface. So these pieces I've applied a slip, so I've created the forms, smoothed the surface down, and then I apply a terra siglata slip, 3 coats of this really fine slip which I make. And then I burnish away, so each piece is just burnished and burnished and burnished, and that brings up the surface, so the surface becomes really shiny and really smooth and tactile, which is very interesting when you think that the clay itself has got a lot of texture in it, so it's complete opposite to how it naturally is. But yeah, and that's just what I really love. I love the feel. I like trying to refine it to make it really smooth. So they're just nice to be held, nice in your hand. Yeah.
And the forms themselves, you know, what sort of inspires you around the shapes that you do?
And I drew a life model, and she was expecting, and from a totally flat tummy to being really pregnant, I drew her. And so I always made belly pots with this tummy, this shape, and the arch of the back, and this lovely belly. And then I put quotes on them, positive quotes, and I used to glaze them. I liked them, but there's always something that I was not quite happy with. And then I watched the Great Pottery Throwdown, and there was a lady called Christine who'd had breast cancer, and she made a biography piece, and it was really interesting because it was all about her breasts and the cancer. And I just thought, I'm going to put the boobs on my pots. And I did. And and they've just been received so well ever since. Far better than they were just tubbies with belly pots. I'm now thinking about emotions a lot more as well. And what really intrigues me about us as humans is that we always say we're okay and we're fine, but inwardly we're not. And our outward projection is one thing, but inwardly we're very different. So I'm trying to portray that in my pots as well. So inside is quite rough and outside is smooth. So that's also, it's like our refined exterior versus how we truly might be inside. And that's also the shapes of the pieces.
So when you come to finish them, before you put them into a kiln,
yeah.
do you have to do anything to protect that burnishing, or is that burnishing protected while they're fired?
No, as long as you don't fire it too high. So the sheen that you create during the burnishing will actually fire off if you fire it to like a stoneware temperature. So I bisque fire, my first firing goes to 1000 degrees, and the surface is still protected then. The sheen will still be there. If you take it much higher, it will degrade, it won't be as shiny, which is, you know, I want that nice smooth surface, I want the sheen. I'm not bothered about the shine, but I want the sheen that the burnish gives me, which I really like. Yeah.
And then do you do a second firing?
Yeah, and then that's when I either Saggar or Raku firing, which I can show you.
That's fantastic. We will have a look at that. Here we are, in your outside studio.
Yeah.
Tell me about it, Fiona.
This is what I set alight last night. We lined the very bottom with sawdust, and then in went my pots. So the pots are wrapped in lots of foil, but before that they've got copper wire, so I'll take one out. This is like opening your Christmas presents. So this is the foil, which gets really, really quite brittle. Generally put that in a bag. Tidy that up later. But this is really nice copper wire. The copper wire, as you can see, gives me black lines, and I can reuse that. And there's been seaweed. Oh, a little pot's landed inside. Ah, little gift. So seaweed, cobalt oxide, copper carbonate, miracle grow, Himalayan rock salt, all those things were put onto the clay surface before it went in. So you get a real mixture of colours.
It's just fabulous, isn't it? It's
yeah.
Just amazing.
See the cobalt that's just come through. Yeah.
Absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, so that will be totally cleaned up and washed, and the polish. It'll look different again. For these earth mothers. And she was wearing a little underwear bra of copper. Just because it gives you nice marks. But the copper's quite good. It does get brittle as you fire it. I can reuse it again and it still will give me the black marks.
So the name for this technique is Saggar. So where is that from?
Saggar comes from, in the olden days when we had the big beehive kilns, they used coal and wood to fire them, and they had ceramic vessels that were called saggars. So they were big pots, and then they put their precious porcelain dishes inside the saggars, so that it was a totally sealed container, far more sealed obviously than foil, and they were stacked up, all the saggars were stacked up with individual pieces of porcelain and ceramics in, and then they would light the whole beehive kiln and take it to temperature. So Saggar was a way of protecting the beautiful delicate porcelain from all the harsh smoke. So yeah, so where it came from, I don't know where it originated from, but that's where you get that the phrase a Saggar maker's bottom knocker, because they used to knock them to open them, because they used to seal a little bit. This is our oil drum Raku kiln, ceramic fibre, and it works a treat. 18 degrees, and it will go up to about 950. Keep your eyebrows away and the camera. Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's turn it on. It does go up quite fast, so currently we're at 60 degrees from that 19, so it shoots up quick. Then I put the lid on. So we're about to take the lid off. Temperature is 946, and I've got my technical director here, and he's going to lift the lid.
Ready?
Yeah. Back with that, please. This is when you don't really breathe. So she's really hot at the moment. I'm just going to move around a little bit. This is a ostrich feather. Because I like them black inside, I'm going to drop that inside, and that's going to go on fire. This is horsehair. You get lovely, lovely lines, and I really love that. And all the time it is cooling. You're almost like printing the hair wherever it touches. It leaves black lines. And you can go in with sugar, which gives you tiny little dots. If you put too much on, it gives you it runs like syrup and you get dribbles. The hardest thing is knowing when to stop. You see, I think she's rather lovely.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to leave her. She's still about 800 degrees, so you can't touch her. So I'm going to just pop her down on the table. Let's try a peacock's feather. Not wanting to waste it, can go inside. Can you hear the burn?
Wow.
The smoke. I want to turn her over because I've not got her on the turntable. It's quite nice if you watch it just melt away. Oh, she's lovely and hot. See whether we can still get some more hair on there, or has she gone too cool?
Beautiful. Absolutely amazing.
Quite like a darker rim. Will it stay? I think, can you see it's a little bit too cool now?
Yeah.
So it's just getting that optimum temperature. We'll get a bit of sugar on there. Sugar. likes to melt at a lower temperature. What should we have? I liked the peacock. Lovely. She's so hot. This, believe it or not, is actually my hair. I used to have long hair. If I want to stand up. Ooh, that's the thermal shock of the heat. And sometimes it does that, and you think you're going to get a crack, but you don't, because this is Ashraf Hannah clay, and it's pretty amazing. See if we get another crack. I think I'm going to leave her there. That's really nice, isn't it?
Beautiful, absolutely stunning. Fiona, honestly, I can't tell you how long I've been waiting to film this technique. It's absolutely fantastic. I've so enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Like I said, it's unpredictable, but great, and that's what I like about it.
Fantastic.
Thank you for coming.